All right, guys, we are back with the barbell. All right, so if you have a barbell at home, this video is for you. Even if you don't, it's good information. The last 2 weeks, we discussed the clean. We discussed the pull and the clean. We started the first pull, then we moved to the second pull. This week, we want to talk about the third pull, but as you can see with Bessie's grip, we're going to use the snatch, okay? So, snatch is a really good element to talk about the third pull because it's very apparent. It's a good element to learn the third pull. So just get to it. So, third pull, we're gonna start with showing you a drill that we're gonna use in the warm-up today. It's next week now. So we're gonna show you a drill. It's called the Tall Snatch. All right. So in the Tall Snatch, now a lot of people cheat this, and that's okay to a certain margin. But the Tall Snatch is no dip, no drive. We're just gonna pull under. My cue for this is just go to your toes for this Tall Snatch and then pull. Okay. So big deal in this. We'll talk about points of performance, but this Tall Snatch really helps you feel the weight of the bar and what it's like to actually pull under in that third pull, because the Tall Snatch isolates that transition from the top of the second pull with no momentum into the third pull, all right? Because you got a really good transfer over there. All right? Talking about positioning a little bit, because it is the third pull. In the snatch, we're gonna be in overhead squat position, so let's just get the barbell up. So you can see, we've talked about it before, the structure. If the camera comes around and Bessie to the side, and Bessie can kind of show his back, we want to see the scap really engaged. And whatever the elbows do, wherever they rotate naturally is okay, all right? As long as the scap is engaged. Check out a bunch of weightlifters, professional weightlifters. Their elbows are pointing with every which way, and what protects the shoulder is the scap engagement, okay? So it depends. As long as your scap is engaged and your elbows are locked, you're gonna be in an okay spot, okay? So that's the positioning. When we get to the bottom of the snatch, we wanna be comfortable with that squat, and getting that depth, and we want to be able to keep that bar in a nice straight line coming up, moving through up and down the overhead squat, okay? So bar goes down. Yeah, bar can go down to the hips. All right, so how you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing a little tough.
All right, we'll take a little break and I'll talk about the setup. So in the setup, number one thing is going to be engaging the scap. Just like we talked about there, we're going to want that scap engaged the entire snatch. So engaging the scap means pinching those shoulder blades. Like if I were to put a pencil between Bessie's shoulder blades and I told him to pinch the pencil, I should be able to let go and that pencil stays pinched in those shoulder blades. And we're going to be able to hold onto that pencil the entire snatch, all right? So let's turn back around and show your stuff off to the camera, Bessie. So we're gonna go barbell in the start position of the snatch. We're gonna squeeze the scap, all right? We're pinching that pencil, and we're gonna I want you to do a tempo snatch. So just nice and slow to the pocket and then pull under. So in that snatch, Bessie did a really good job at keeping the scap retracted, okay? What he did there is he snatched, there was a window of weightlessness that he pulled under. What we're gonna try to do is keep the extension in the second pull, but lose that window of weightlessness because it's a waste of time and we wanna pull against the bar and under. That was a lot smoother, okay? So you see that snatch was much smoother because we erased that window of time, of hang time on the bar. We keep pulling against the weight, long arms, big pull, okay? And we have a nice, smooth lift there, all right? So, two big things, all right? Two big cues. Pinch the scaps, all right? Through the whole lift, pinch the scap. And then the next one, is a conceptual cue, is wait for that right moment. Obviously, we want to have patience, but after extension, we don't waste any time. We don't let the bar get weightless. We pull actively against the bar. We don't just weightless and then fall under it. We launch ourselves like a slingshot underneath that bar, all right? have fun with that one, guys. This is my favorite lift. All right, guys, so today we're doing a little hip hinge action to get that like pull from the snatch. So posterior chain development and then overhead stability in the shoulder with a Turkish getup. Okay, so hip hinge, what could that be? That could be any of the movements listed. So we're just gonna talk about the general hip hinge. It's the deadlift, the pull from the floor option and the action that your hips do. So hips should be like they're on a track, moving back and forth. The problem we see with most hip hinging, two problems, two sides, all right? Hips going down too low. So squatting your pull, don't squat your pull, okay? It's not, this actually will fire up the low back much more than hip hinging properly and biasing the hamstring. This is hamstring bias, okay? Hamstring and ab. This is this is quad and low back bias. We do not want that in a pull from the floor. And then the other thing we see generally with lighter weight and people with very flexible hamstrings is keeping the legs really straight. Yeah. So that's not good either. We don't get a lot of power from there. We don't use the full leg. So both ends of the spectrum there, we want a nice level track for that hip hinge. Cool. Moving on, the Turkish get up. All right, we're gonna do this very slowly, step by step. Are you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, so let's start out lying flat, okay? So we'll go from point A to point B. Now, it's not just getting up with the weight, all right? You gotta take your time with a Turkish get up. That's why you're not gonna see a Turkish get up in a METCON, all right? You're gonna see it in times like this where we just work it in nice and slowly and focus and pay attention, all right? So, slow, very controlled, focused movement. What we're focused on, maintaining lockout into the weight that's above your head. You can use a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell, use kind of like a backpack, whatever weight you have for this, and it's about that shoulder stability, all right? So we're gonna that's the first thing we're gonna do is get the weight into position. All right, if you have a little bit heavier weight than this, you might not be able to just bicep curl it up, but you can use the other arm to kind of pull it in and then press it, all right? So once we have it locked out, it remains locked out the whole time. All right, now we're gonna use which leg are you, yes, so same leg to the kettlebell, knee bends, all right? That leg is gonna push us over, so we're gonna push us up and over, up onto the elbow. So now you have two main points of contact. You have your elbow and you have the foot on the leg that's bent. So that's where you're gonna bear your weight, all right? When you bear your weight there, you're gonna the next step is to keep pressing up into the kettlebell and get up to your hand. You're gonna try to get these 2 points. So now it's not your elbow anymore; it's your hand and your foot. You're gonna try to get these 2 points as close together as possible. So you can bring your hand in and then you're gonna raise your hips up, jack your hips up, leg sweeps through into a lunge. Okay, so you can pause the video here and rewind and go back to it. Or maybe we'll slow it down for you, but we need to sweep through into a lunge, all right? So we're up, hips go up, sweep through into a lunge, and then we go up into the kettlebell, and now we're just an overhead lunge and we stand, okay? That's half of the Turkish get-up. This is the hard part, because that's the concentric. Now we need to do the way down. So now we need to maintain our lockout, and we need to go back down the exact same way we came back, the exact same way, but the opposite, all right? So we go kneel, we find the floor with our hand, we sweep our leg through, our hips find the floor, we get back to our elbow, and then we roll out back down to the floor, and then that's a complete rep of a Turkish get-up. Okay, so step by step, okay? It seems you can put the kettlebell down. So step by step, it seems like complicated if you look, oh my God, there's a lot to this movement. And you're right, there is a lot, but it's very simple, small steps forward. Don't get your head ahead of yourself. Maybe try this in front of this video, step by step, just one step at a time. Really, really good movement to just practice on your own without any observers, because you can make mistakes and nobody knows. So have a good one, making mistakes on this one, and don't be afraid to mess up. If you have some light weight, then that's fine. Just really try to dial the mechanics of this movement in. Okay, so sweet Metcon today. Thrusters, double unders, that combo, pretty vicious. We've seen it in the open a lot. Now, this is like a workout that's built off of last week. Last week we had 3 5-minute AMRAPs with some rest in between. This week, similar thing, three windows, 4 minutes though, so shaving off a little bit of time, adding some intensity with a couplet rather than a triplet. 4 minutes, although shorter, it's a tough window because it's long enough to have some crippling effects and short enough that we can keep the intensity really, really high and through the roof. When you do this one, keep in mind that it is going to get worse and worse as you go. Okay, keep that in mind, but you still want to get there. All right, so get to those intensity levels. Now we have thrust or double under. Okay, so if you're using an object, all right, or a barbell, same thing. You want a nice solid rack position. You want to get down into that squat as stable as you can in that rack position. Then you want to punch that thing overhead. All right, locking that sucker out overhead. Put some good amount of weight in here so that you can, not enough that you can't go unbroken. Everybody should be striving for unbroken efforts today, but enough that you can feel it, okay? One little option today, all right? If we put our object or our bar down on the ground, that's not gonna have the best effects for today's stimulus. What we wanna do is hold on to our object or barbell. And I know that's very simple and it's like, well, if I'm too tired, I have to drop it, but that's not true, okay? So what we can do is we can pause in our lockout overhead, okay? So we're gonna go down to our squat, we're gonna take 1-2 breaths here while the weight's off of our chest, off of our lungs, and then back down. Maybe not that long, but just a couple breaths, back down. All right, if we get into trouble, this is obviously, we don't wanna do that from the get-go because it's gonna have some fatiguing effects in our shoulders, stabilizing a load overhead, but it's just an option you have if your heart rate gets a little too jacked or your legs get a little tired, all right? Double unders. We're gonna watch Fesky do them because it's fun, but just think about relaxing on the double unders. This is your chance for some recovery. Breathe and spin that rope. All right, so we want a nice effortless glide on this. If you're still working on your double unders and they really spike your heart rate, I wouldn't recommend doing them today just for the stimulus and the dynamics of this workout. But we can always do the single under option and add the double unders in so we can get best of both worlds. But yeah, have fun with this one. I really like the looks of this workout because it's super intense. It's gonna be a lot of fun.